beautiful days now. Wonder if Tlasoli has finished making the Blaze Gem inscription. Since Neshka's birthday is around the corner, let's go to the tribe and buy some things, and then pay the family a visit.
Alright, so this will be the continuation of the Children of Echoes series of quests. This one is called Melodious Chant, and luckily I already started recording this.
Ask away.
Actually, let me double check that. Give me a sec. Okay, yes, it is recording. So, let's go over here and talk to people. Actually, do you want to just do this?
10 points for agility.
Such a pain walking around when I can use Kanisha just sling everywhere.
Shilonin, good thing you're here. I'm wondering if I can...
Oh, the shelf on the left, second row down, first X on the right. That one's yours. And the garden hoe belongs to Ignal, and the hammer is Pakal's, so make sure you take the one that's yours.
I haven't even said why I'm here. But looks like you're about to head out for a break.
Yes, but I am going to take it right here. The temperature is just perfect today.
Really? But doesn't it feel a lot hotter than usual? I really don't want to stay out in this heat.
Exactly. In hot weather like this, customers don't tend to stick around and talk when they're coming to place orders or pick up the goods.
I see. Oh, here comes another customer. I'll just leave you to it then, and pick up my axe.
Sure, sounds good to me.
Hey, Shilonin!
Paimon, really?
Oh, Traveler, Paimon! We meet again. Oh, you two seem to be in good spirits. How's your Pilgrim's Chronicle been? Run into any issues?
No, everything is fine.
Oh, good. It was also my first time receiving a Pilgrim's Chronicle, even though I've already turned it over to you. There are still a lot of things that could go wrong, so I wasn't sure if there'd be any issues.
Huh? So, what are the chances that something might still go wrong?
Well, less than the chances of Mualani accidentally falling off a spiritway, I'd say.
Oh, well, that definitely would never happen.
I found the axe, Shilonin. Thanks a lot. By the way, Nitchka's birthday's coming up real soon. Are you planning to visit her?
I've prepared a gift, and was just getting ready to take it to her.
You're not planning on giving the kid a full set of pliers again, are you? Or, let me guess, woodworking tools?
You give these kinds of things as birthday gifts? I'd like a set too. Where can I buy one?
Oh, yeah, I make these myself, and it's a lot of work. But if you like a set, I can make some time and forge one for you.
Great! We often camp out in the wild, but a set of Shilonin's tools would make pitching a tent and starting a bonfire a whole lot easier.
Well, still, I won't be giving Nichka any tools this year. She wrote me a letter saying that she'd like a copy of Tequil the Brave. The book is not what you call a bestseller, but luckily, I have a few copies in my collection. They were really old editions that were published a long time ago, but they should still be readable.
Children her age love fairy tales. The last time I was at Tasoli's, I even brought Nechka. Huh. Wait. What did I bring her again? It must have been her favorite thing, but, why can't I remember it anymore?
Oh, it is quite hot today. Seems you're about to pass out from the heat. Do you even remember your own name?
My memory can't be this bad. It's just these last few days. I've been forgetting things for some odd reason.
Well, in that case, why don't you use the Blaze Gem inscription you have as a memo to engrave some important things to remember? After all, that inscription will never wear out, and it's easy to carry. I'd say that's quite a fitting use for it.
You do have a point, but my inscription is almost already full.
Your name is that long? Or did you include all your relatives' names too?
No. I engraved some wishes on my Blaze Gem inscription. You know, just some dreams that I have for the future and things I'd like to accomplish one day. Even though Tassoli has said that from an aesthetic point of view, it would be best for people to keep their inscription short, this blaze gem inscription was still made by a name engraver, the forger of ancient names themselves. Everyone thinks that the inscription she made might have some wondrous powers. So, many people who bought blaze gem inscriptions engraved their wishes and dreams on them, in hopes that they would come true.
Sounds kinda like a wish granter. But if you do that, won't everyone be able to see your wishes and dreams?
I was just wondering the same thing. Yeah, that could be a little embarrassing.
Don't worry. We usually ask Tassoli to add the inscriptions for us. She has a unique method of engraving. With her method, the light must be at a certain angle in order to see the text. Without the right angle of lighting, the blaze gem inscription will just look like a pretty stone.
That's true. In the end, a blaze gem inscription is essentially just a piece of rock. It doesn't have the power to grant people's wishes. Making wishes to it is like shouting into an echoing valley. The only one who will answer is yourself. But using it as a journal for your wishes is also fine. Carrying them with you and taking a look from time to time can be a good source of encouragement. Well, as long as you don't suddenly change your mind and want to take your wishes back, that is. These things are extremely durable. It would take a lot of effort to change the words. And I don't think anyone would willingly part with it either. They're not cheap and very hard to get. If you ever lost it, you'd just be filled with regret. Still, it's really strange. Given Auntie's skill, how could it take so long for her to make one? Oh, well, I hope someone didn't give her an idea of making fewer and selling for more.
I know just the person who would do that. Sounds just like one of Chevin's schemes.
It's true. Chevin would totally have put that in her ear. Still, I don't think it's such a bad thing for Tassoli to make some money by selling these. At least she and little Nachka are better off now, and won't have to worry about the cost of treating her illness anymore. I was really worried about their family at first, and was even planning to send them some... Huh? What was I planning to send to Nachka again? This memory of mine.
All right, if you stay out in the heat for any longer, I'm afraid even the inscription won't be able to save your memory. You should, go back. Yeah, get some rest.
Right. Right. Please give my regards to Tassoli and Nachka. What's going on? Maybe I should go talk to Ernly to get some medicine.
So you'll be going to Nachka's birthday party too, Shilonen? Oh, perfect! Then let's go together!
Oh, yeah, sure, but I didn't expect you to know Tassoli too. She hasn't been coming to the tribe much lately, so how did you get a chance to talk with her?
Explanations.
Oh, so that's how you met her. She even wants to use volcanic crystal as a forging material. Guess she's really pulling out all the stops for her daughter.
We also wanted to gift for Nechka, but we have no idea what she might like.
Then let's just go and ask. Come on, I want to give her the book anyway.
Huh? Wait a second, our birthday gift's supposed to be a surprise? If we ask Nachka, then she'll know what gift we'll be getting her. And that would ruin the surprise!
But if you don't ask her, then how will you know what kind of present she would like? Here's another idea. Perhaps you can also give her a storybook based on what she wrote in her letter. That might be a good option.
Easy enough. I have a load of those in my bag.
But shouldn't we give it a little more thought? If we all give her books, it might seem like we didn't put much effort into it. Shilonen, have you really never asked her what she would like the most? There must be something else she'd like besides books.
Unfortunately, no. Nachka's illness has kept flaring up over the past few years. Apparently, she couldn't do anything during that time other than rest in bed. She didn't even have the strength to talk to anyone. It wasn't until recently that she started to recover from her illness and regained strength to write letters to others. Anyway, there's no need to overthink it. Worst case scenario, I can split the book into 2 volumes, and we can each give her one.
Let's just go ask Nesca.
Yeah, even though it would ruin the surprise, we could at least get her something that would make her happy. Anyway, could you tell us a bit more about the book that you're getting her? Is it really that unpopular?
Well, it's a little difficult to explain. You see, there are actually 2 versions of To Kill the Brave. The premise of the book is pretty straightforward. It's basically about a set of twin brothers working to defeat a demon lord. But after defeating the demon lord, the older brother, To Kill, discovers that the king's spirit has possessed his younger brother, Remog. In the ending of the original story, the older brother kills his younger brother to defeat the demon lord, before jumping into a volcano.
This tale comes from the desolate, distant past. In those days, the mountain's heath were bared with blades against man and beast, thirsting for the souls of the feeble-minded, human and non-human alike. People knew that the god of the mountains loved them not, and was to be given a wide berth. Yet they were forced to seek shelter in caverns from the storms screaming through the wilds, all to pass along one night after the next. But these caverns, like the mountains, extracted payment from these vagrants. Countless were the tribes who lost kin to the wastes through which they stumbled blind. Valiant Tequil and his kind-hearted brother Remek were born to one such tribe. At the hour of their birth, a long, troubling night reigned inside and outside the caves, and though the campfires around which the tribespeople sat flickered, none were comforted by their light. The people thought, "This fire shall go out soon, and once it does, so too we too shall be finished. How long will this night last? I'm cold, and hungry too. Let's hurry things up then. Quickly, let me walk into the night. Better that than this torment. Oh, you poor children, you poor, poor children." Yet Tequila and Remek did not announce themselves with sorrowful cries as other children did. Instead, Ketil stared into the cavern depths. The minions of the cavern did their best to frighten him, but his gaze swept over them, keen as a sharp stone spear. "He has seen us, our sharp claws and long teeth, but he is not afraid," the wicked creatures whispered amongst themselves anxiously, and involuntarily retracted such appendages. Remek, for his part, waved his hand and laughed, and his laughter was like pebbles tumbling in a stream, drawing the eyes of all the distressed tribespeople to his face. Only did they notice that though the flame wavered, it had never ceased to burn, and with another wave of his hand, Remek patted the firewood next to him. "Feed the flame! Feed the flame!" The elderly chief, thus reminded by the newborn boy, shouted his words aloud, repelling the fear that had been about to swallow the whole tribe. People stood and fueled the fire, and they drew their obsidian blades, casting their eyes into the cavern depths just as Akil had. The beasts of the cavern were filled with rage and hate, but they knew that these people would not loosen their grip on their weapons, nor would their eyes be shut. Terror had already fled, and so death was forced to retreat. Only when the sun rose again did the brothers close their eyes, falling asleep in their mother's bosom. Thus did the tribespeople depart the cave, having lived another day. These people who had rejected fear would live countless days more. Yet the defeat of her evil underlings caught the eye of their master, Kotoku. I think I'm saying that right. For the lord of the demons, who claimed to be the mother of the underworld and mistress of 10,000 times 10,000 caves, whose fangs were the rocky stalactites, whose tongue was every blast of wet frigid wind, and who upon awakening could only be sated by devouring 10,000 living souls. Tequil and Remek were the first humans to slip her grasp. Shamefaced, this Earth Mother waved her hand, lashing the evil beast cowering to the side with rocks. Go redeem your chameleon feather. Capture those dim-witted mortals and fill my stomach." But having seen their fears vanquished, the people remembered well the method of scattering those terrors time after time. They settled at the foot of the mountain, sharpened wooden stakes, lit fires, and gave the sharpest blades to their best warriors, which would stand guard behind the stakes. Their bright eyes pierced the wilderness beyond the firelight, and did not shift their gaze away for even a moment. By blade and fire did Quill's minions taste defeat time after time, until they could do nothing but huddle in the dark, daring not to draw near the flame. The fires in the heart of the people ignited. They began to speak of victory, of light, and of the end of the Viper. They believed in Tequil and Remick. These two brothers could surely keep the heat and light alive. Tequil and Remick thought the same, and so they sharpened their spears and blades, preparing to drive the demon lord of that evil serpent to her doom. But the Earth Mother, who hated this tribe, did not relent. She took sludge from the deepest part of the caves and pinched it into a snake. Then she plucked out her eye, setting it in the serpent's eye socket. It was that child who caused you to witness the fire, and so let me go and swallow his eye. One evening, when the sun had just set, night's veil was slowly covering the sky, and the stars had yet to begin granting their light. The serpent bit and slew a rabbit behind the tribe's bounds, and burrowed into its skin, laying flat on the ground. Rimnick, returning from gathering herbs, came upon this rabbit, and seeing its wound, the kind child put his torch down without hesitation, and reaching for his herbs, he chewed on them, preparing to apply them to the rabbit. But the snake, speaking for the Earth Mother, leapt from the wound, hissing laughter. Ha ha ha! Ignorant, foolish human, sacrificing yourself for a lowly rabbit! Before Remick could retrieve his torch, the Earth Mother serpent latched its fangs first onto his neck, then burrowing into his body, captured his heart and soul both. The defenseless sentries were the next to be murdered by the Earth Mother, for they greeted Remick just as they always did when he returned from gathering herbs, only to be pierced to the heart by the serpent, dying on the spot. The entire tribe's fires were put out, and amidst the shroud of darkness, death and terror were resurgent. The Earth Mother spat the snake out, and through poisoned fangs she cried out, "Behold, behold, you arrogant fools, and kneel as you should in the dust." But the sound of rock being struck cut her off, for Tequil, who had been sharpening his obsidian blade, used it to create sparks that set his tent alight. He raised his blade and charged forward, letting fly his blade at the Earth Mother's messenger. The blazing edge cleaved the poisoned serpent, molded from soil with ease. But as Tequil was about to follow through, he saw his brother's eyes and the blood stain his brother's hands. That instant was all the time the wounded viper needed to escape. Yet night fully charred it was still, and the Earth Mother's eyes reduced almost to ash. This tribe was destroyed, and never again was there a chance it would dare defy her. Thus did the Earth Mother comfort herself as she retreated into the darkness. Had Tequil wished to call out Remick's name, but the burning dust caught in his throat, so he could only watch as his brother vanished into the night. When the night at last passed, Tequil, who stood amongst the ruins, knew that the surviving tribe people could no longer stay. Burying his confusion and pain in his heart, he led them on a new journey. They crossed mountains and canyons, dodging fearsome beasts and poisonous insects. Tequil did not close his eyes for so long as they journeyed, nor did he dare loosen his grip on blade or torch. Finally, by a silent volcano, they found a tribe willing to take them in. Only after he saw the last of his tribe peacefully fall into slumber under the old shaman's care did he relax and collapse to the earth. When he awoke, he found himself in a blazing cave. The lava surrounded him undiluted with an erratic pulse, as if the very mountain was slowly breathing. When he stood up, the lava boiled and bubbled, and a rumbling came from all directions. Do not search for your brother. His eyes have been devoured by the cunning serpent. But I must save him, and pursue that venomous snake also. His words echoed through the cave, but the goddess of mountains and fire was silent. Tequil thus prayed unto her, "Let my brother's name live on. I am willing to sacrifice my heart and blood in return." The goddess answered him in the echoing caves. Thus should she, "Your prayer have I heard, but your brother is no longer your kin. His name has sunken into the deepest of depths." Tequil raised his head and lifted up his wish to the goddess. "Turn my blood to fire, so my heart may illuminate the depths. I will bring my brother back before my blood runs dry. Turn my blood to fire until my soul may sear and slay that serpent. I will take its head before the blood runs dry." When Tequil woke once more, the old shaman of the tribe gave him a brand new sword food, and water. Finally, the shaman clasped his shoulder and blessed him. May your fire dry the venomous snake's venom. Thus Tequila embarked on another journey. His strength was endless, his body tireless, his blood burned like lava. He crossed grassy fields and snowy peaks, deep valleys and high mountains, and the goddess of mountains and fire showed him the way with falling rocks and the cracks and cliffs. Thus did Kale stride forward without hesitation. When he met his brother again, the Earth Mother mocked him once more, using Rimmick's body and voice. But when her claws pierced Tequila's chest, he moved not, and instead her bones were melted by his burning blood. Tequila stared the vicious demon lord down, and said in a loud voice, "My brother is gentle of heart. He would surely have made this land a better place. Yet you have affronted him with your poison, smothered his virtue, slaughtered those who had faith in his virtue. Die, you despicable venomous insect! Die here!" As he roared, Tequila's blood stained his obsidian blade, turning it red hot in an instant. The Earth Mother watched in terror as her shell, bones, and soul were sundered. She wished to scream, but to buy but a moment in which she could unleash her claws and tear Tequila to ribbons. But she could make no sound, for the fire's light, the silent soul to whom this body once belonged, awakened, and that soul cried out to his brother, "I do not wish to see your blood be reduced to ash, but I have seen the light of your heart and spirit. Remember my name, brother. As long as you remember me, I will never have left." The blazing fire swept over every corner in that gloomy, frigid cavern, and every last poisonous insect within was slain, burned to ash alongside every plot and scheme so heinous and vile. As the last drop of his blood was about to burn away, the roof of the cave above Tequila's head trembled. A fissure opened, and a gem fell down and stopped up his wound. The goddess of mountain and fire spoke once more, and her voice echoed across the walls. "You have yet one drop of blood. Return to your tribe, for this is your brother's wish, and I will see it fulfilled." One night the old shaman who had waited day after day beyond the tribe's bounds stood to welcome the returning Tequila. But Tequila refused the water, the food, the cheers. Instead, he simply said, "The venomous snake is slain, and I am victorious, but I shall soon depart along with my brother." He took the gem from his chest, placed it upon the torch, and walked up to the silent volcano. "I have but one drop of blood left, but it was not left for me, but rather for justice and fairness, for the good and the brave. Use it, and light a fire, a flame that shall never be extinguished." Having said that, the valiant Tequila leapt into the dead volcano. The earth was shaken by his heart and blood, and the volcano's own heart resumed beating. The blazing lava once more beginning to flow. The volcano lives, as does the bravery of all the tribes.
I remember there was one line that was super popular at the time. If I still remember right, after being possessed by the goddess Coatlicue, Rimac said, "I do not wish to see your blood be reduced to ash, but I have seen the light of your heart and spirit. Remember my name, brother. As long as you remember me, I will never have left."
So about the other version of the story?
The other version was released only recently. The author heard a suggestion from someone and suddenly decided to try and make a stake in the fairy tale market, so the story was revised. In the revised version, the brothers killed the demon lord together and both survived. According to the author, this gave the story a happy ever after kind of ending. However, the revised version was not well received. After a month on the market, it had hardly sold any copies, and the books were collecting dust on the store shelves. The store owners desperately tried to get rid of the book, and have resorted to all sorts of promotions and discounts to sell it. Even now, the only edition of To Kill the Brave you can find in the market is the newer one, whereas the older edition is nearly impossible to find. Anyway, I couldn't bring myself to give such a poorly rated book to Nechka, so I spent a few days looking and managed to find a few copies of the old edition in a warehouse. I picked out a copy that looked relatively new and wrapped it up as a present for Nechka. If you're interested, I can give you this extra copy to read. The pages are pretty old, though, so please be gentle with it. Oh, and here's a copy of the newer edition, too. They gave me a free copy when I went to buy some chocolatl.
So that's how they're trying to sell off the book. Could it really be that bad? Even Paimon's curious now.
And that's 2 more for the collection. And you can read them to me while we're on the road, Paimon.
Okay, but you'll have to carry Paimon for a while. Once Paimon's done reading it herself, she'll read it out for you.
Let's get going. Tlasoli lives pretty far from the tribe, so it'll take us some time to get there.
And that was just starting the quest. I spent all that time reading that text aloud because of the introduction thing. Well done. That happened. Alright, so that's going to be the end of this for the time being, and I'll see you guys later.